All right, everybody, welcome into tonight's episode of the Nerd Ensemble. I'm one of your co-hosts, Mr. Don Kovac, and my other awesome DJ co-host back there, Mr. Brett Dean. Brett, how are you, man?
Good, Don. What's new? What's new with you?
Oh, man. You know, children, work, children,
more children,
work. Yeah. But it's
Have you
all
bought
good,
anything recently?
Not since the last show.
Okay.
I spoiled my lot on the last show, and I am still enjoying my 14-inch MacBook Pro, no doubt about it. And of course, naturally, just like I did last year when I bought the 13-inch M1, and then they released the 14 and 16 inches not long after that. They're about to release that, but we won't talk about that, and we also won't talk about Bruno. What about you?
Haven't bought anything recently. I'm kind of, and we'll talk about this in a few minutes. I've kind of been saving just in case something good comes out in the next few days. Because, like Christmas, we're approaching Apple Day.
We are approaching Apple Nerd Christmas. There is no doubt about it. You are right. And that's going to be the main focus of tonight's episode is we have thoughts. We have things we think we're going to see. We have things we would want to see at the September 7th Apple event. Probably we might as well just call it the iPhone event because we know that's going to be the featured product. But there might be other things happening, and we want to talk about that with y'all tonight. So definitely feel free to engage with us on the Facebook page and in the chat and email and whatever method you would prefer. That would be awesome.
Even come join us on the show if you'd like. I'll share a link, and if you feel like you want to jump online, yeah. Well, I can choose who gets in and who gets, sent to internet purgatory. You know what I'm saying? So
you are the gatekeeper.
We're safe. I am the gatekeeper. I am the key master. There is no Dana, only Zool. Okay.
Wow, we nailed those Ghostbusters references.
Yes, so, more references.
Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah. It's 40 years old. There's no spoilers at this point.
1984, excuse me. It's not quite 40 years old for those of us that are still just under the 40 years old line.
Clinging to a dream.
I wouldn't say clinging, but I'm just, what is it? Age is how you feel anyway, or something. That's what they told me.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that, indeed. Anyway, so, so let's give the details of next week's upcoming event to get started here. So last week, Apple sent out a press invite. I want to say it was last Wednesday to the September event. It is entitled Far Out. And I got to give a huge nerd thumbs up to Brett. The background to tonight's episode is, in fact, that Far Out wallpaper. Can't quite see it because our mugs are covering it.
Mm-hmm.
But huge props to Brett for making that happen. It will take place next Wednesday, September 7th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 12 o'clock Central time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and what is that, 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time for those of you that are over there across the pond. So it is going to, we'll get into more of the specifics, but I think what we expect is that there will be new iPhones, new Apple Watches, and then perhaps some surprises. So we're going to get into all that stuff tonight. Now, interestingly, and maybe Brett can pull this up at some point, there were two different invites that went out. One is the general, hey, tune in to apple.com at 10 a.m. Eastern on September 7th to stream the keynote. Awesome. But those that were in the sort of the higher up media, so to speak, received a different invite saying, you're welcome to join us at Apple Park on September 7th. But no other details, at least as of today, have been revealed in terms of, is it going to be an entirely pre-recorded event? Is there going to be an on-stage component? Is there going to be a hands-on component? Is it going to look somewhat like WWDC did this past June? What is it going to be? And so far, nobody seems to know, except I'm sure those folks in Apple that are in the know. And it'll be interesting to see what is going to happen for those lucky many folks that were able to attend in person. So that's what we know to this point. I have to say, before we get started with our predictions here, and we're gonna do some predictions with a timer this evening. But what I am sort of wondering is, what are we gonna see beyond iPhones and Apple Watches? Now, for those of you just tuning in, if you're a huge fan of Apple, you would know this. But if you're not, and you're kind of getting up to speed, the iPhone is by far Apple's moneymaker. It makes up over 50% of their business every single year, and ever since the fall of 2011, which was the iPhone 4S, Apple has released the new iPhones in either September or October at its fall event. And other products have been featured alongside of it. But as soon as September invite or an early October invite, as in 2020 when that occurred, it's safe to assume that the iPhone is going to be the main featured product. In other years, there have been a variety of other products along with it, but of course, the iPhone is the piece de la resistance, and the thing that Wall Street and Apple fans and many years guys like Brett and I are just like, okay, what are they going to give us this year? What are we going to be buying this year? But maybe not so much this year. We'll see.
That sounded ominous. That was a very ominous proposition from you there, Don.
I want to keep people waiting and waiting and hoping. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about our predictions. Basically, I'm going to set a timer for 5 to 7 minutes per area. The first major area we're going to talk about is the iPhone and what we predict will happen next Wednesday in terms of how many iPhones, what sizes, etc. And then after that, we'll talk about Apple Watch, because Apple Watch is the other heavily rumored product for next Wednesday's event. And then also we'll reserve about 5 to 7 minutes for that. And then we'll have a third section for other. And that's where the real speculation is going to begin, because there's been some rumors, but certainly nothing as hot or as credible as what we've heard for this year's iPhones and Apple Watches. So that'll be kind of fun to see what Brett thinks is going to happen and what I think is going to happen in that kind of umbrella other section. And then we'll see where the wind takes us from there. What do you think about all that, Brett? Are you ready to get rolling here?
I like our format here. I like the pressure of time weighing down on me.
That's which, of course, our jobs as music teacher, isn't that always the case?
Always.
Isn't that can be part of the fun, can't it?
Yeah. I think we're used to it.
So here, I'm going to go ahead and open up the... Oh, that's interesting. Cancel. Oh. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my clock app. I don't have my trusty HomePod next to me tonight. That's okay. Don't need it.
That's okay.
But I will set a timer here on my phone. I'm going to set it for 7 minutes for the iPhone because I think you and I are going to have a lot to say about the iPhone.
Okay,
you good with 7 minutes, buddy?
Yeah.
All right.
7 minutes between the two of us. Okay.
Yeah, and if we run a little long, then we do.
Okay.
So all right, timer is set. All right. So I'm going to start. You want to go first or you want me to start?
No, go for it and I'll jump in.
All right. So this year I'm expecting that there are going to be 4 new iPhones released, which has been the pattern for the past 3 or 4 years. I believe since the iPhone 11 series. No, I'm sorry, the 12 series. My mistake. So this will be the 3rd year in a row that we'll see 4 new phones released. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you feel about the matter, we have a change in this year's for the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 13 series. We saw 4 new phones released. A 6.1 inch iPhone proper, both 12 and 13, a 5.4 inch iPhone 12 or 13 mini, a 6.1 inch iPhone Pro 12 and 13, and a 6.7 inch iPhone Pro Max, both 12 and 13s. The rumors this year are pointing to the mini being replaced by a 6.7 inch iPhone proper Max size, because quite a few people in the market have been frustrated with the fact that you need to spend the most money in order to get the largest device. And not to mention the fact that the problem with that largest device is also because of its stainless steel and aluminum construction is a quite heavy device, as Brett can certainly attest to. So that not only the size, the heft, and the cost made it unreachable for a segment of the market. So this year, I believe those folks are going to get what they'd hoped for, and my mini womp womp is going to be replaced. Because in neither year, the 12 year or nor the 13 year, did the mini sell very well. So they're going to go ahead and replace it. And so we'll see 2 6.1 inch sizes, and we'll see 2 6.7 inch sizes for this year. I feel safe in making that prediction. What do you think?
I'm going to jump in there and say I agree with all those things. I think that it's really clear that something is going to happen when all the rumor mills are consistent, and that's what all the rumor mills that Don and I sift through so that we can talk about it with all of you are pointing to. So if you've been in the market for an iPhone and you want the big one, you're going to be able to get one potentially for a lot less now. Okay. It may not be fully featured, but for a huge segment of the population, that's not what matters. It's having the big screen real estate, to have the biggest phone. And to now be able to do that for a lot less, that's really appealing. So Apple's definitely been experimenting, and that mini was definitely an experiment. I think a good one, but it didn't click with the wider population. Therefore, they saw another opportunity to experiment the other way with something bigger in the non-pro class, and they've gone with this 6.7 inch iPhone 14. Now, let's talk about some other details about that. I think it's going to have the typical non-pro 2-camera setup, probably just the wide field and the standard. I can still see it having a notch the same size as the iPhone 13 notch. And I think the new pinhole design is going to be reserved for the pros. And my guess would be probably for a while. I don't see that as being something that's going to trickle down and be a thing next year for the 15. Do you know what I mean? I think the non-pro phone is going to have a notch for a lot of years.
Yeah, 100%. I would say at least 2 to 3 years on that, because that's going to be one of the obvious visual differentiators between the pro phones and the standard phones. So yeah, I think you're right on with the camera predictions, as well as the screen and notch predictions. Good call on those for sure.
There's a rumor that we're going to get a terabyte of storage on the Pro.
We already have a terabyte of storage on the Pro.
Oh, do we? Was it 2 terabytes then?
Yep.
So maybe it'll go. Do you think it'll start at 256? No, I don't. I think it'll still start at 128. I wonder if it'll go 128, 512, 2 terabytes. What do you think?
Well, that's a good point, because some rumors have been pointing to the cost of all the phones are going to move up a tier, but in exchange, you're also going to get double the storage from, so the 256 gigabyte iPhone 13 Pro Max is what, $1199 right now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll still be $1199. That'll be the starting price, though. So yeah, you're paying that same price, but you're also, you're starting at 256 gigs. I did not see that rumor, so that is very interesting of a prediction to me. I think I don't know of anybody that I can point to and say, yeah, I have the terabyte phone. And
I don't know anybody.
They're still going to probably have the lightning connector. Getting a terabyte's worth of things either off of them, either direct from lightning or through the cloud, is a very long process. So yeah, I could totally see that the storage sizes remain the same. Oh, there's the timer from last year. And then once we get USB-C on the iPhones, then I could see switching over to a 2 terabyte, because that's going to be
okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. A Thunderbolt or just USB-C?
Well, if you really want to be serious about calling it an iPhone Pro, yeah, then you would put Thunderbolt in there. Just the same as, they called the iPad Pro for a long time, but then last year's M1 got the same chip as the Mac, and it got Thunderbolt as an IO. So that really would put it in another realm.
Yeah, I'm liking where we're going with that. Why don't you help us establish our next category for tonight?
Yeah, so a couple other quick predictions on the phone, and then we're going to move forward. Rumors state that the iPhone Pro line will get the A16 chip, which is the next iteration of Apple's Apple Silicon chipset, but that the iPhone's 14 non-Pro will stay at the current A15.
Oof.
As yet another way to differentiate between the Pro and the standard line, but also for them to because of the chip shortage that, yes, even is affecting Apple, for them to kind of help with dealing with some of the demand for that. So it's definitely a multi-pronged process.
Okay.
Plus, the other interesting rumor is that the Pro phones are going to, the current rear-facing camera is the wide-angle camera is a 12 megapixel, and the rumor is that we're going to go 4x on that. We're going to go 48 megapixels, which for those folks who are really into taking pictures on their phones, I mean, that ought to represent a huge leap forward. So,
yes. And maybe that is helping drive up those storage things. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Like shooting movies on the iPhone is a real thing now. It's crazy. You know, Soderbergh.
Apple, Apple themselves demonstrated it.
Yeah, there are quite a few things being shot on iPhone right now, and I'm sure those people would love to have a terabyte or two to play around with. You know, again, I don't know how they're getting stuff off of there. It must be excruciating, but it's better to have it than not. You know what I mean?
4K 60 footage is like, yeah, I hear you, man. I'm with you. And then, of course, the last bit, and then we're moving on, is colors. And one rumor that just came out in the last few days is the rumor of a possible, like, true purple iPhone, like, at launch, not, coming as a mid-cycle sort of color. So that could be fun as a kind of way to again, differentiate colors. That's all I got on the iPhone. Anything else that you can think of?
No, I think we nailed that one.
All right.
Yeah. What do we got next?
So, yeah, Apple could surprise and delight us, but that's what we're expecting solidly for the iPhones next week. Moving forward to Apple Watch.
Oof.
I know you probably have yours nearby, do you? Or you're certainly an Apple Watch fan.
Mine. Oh, I'm an Apple Watch fan. Now, I don't know as much about it as you do, but I do want to weigh in on a couple things. And
sure.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and start?
So, what we're looking at is this has been a rumor for quite a while, and it's really been gaining steam in the last few months. Is that so the Apple Watch Series 6 came out last year in September. No, sorry, 2 years ago in September. And it was very similar in design from the previous couple of years, 40 and 44 millimeter sizes, and similar systems on a package and all that sort of thing. The Series 5, which you have, represents the first one that had an always-on display, which we totally forgot about for the iPhone Pro. But anyway, we're on the watch now. And then for the Series 7, which was released this past September, or this past fall, I should say, which I'm wearing right now, bumped up to a 45 millimeter on the large size and a 41 millimeter, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in day-to-day use, that extra screen real estate has really made a difference to me. But the rumors have been for quite a while that Apple would then introduce a more extreme version for those who are into more extreme sports, who are serious athletes, who are serious health nuts, bikers, rock climbers, whitewater rafters, etc., to kind of give it that extra layer of protection. And it sounds to me like this year is going to be that year where we get some rumors that said like an Apple Watch Extreme, but most rumors now are pointing to them calling it the Apple Watch Pro to put it in line with all of their other product lines that we've had so far, MacBook Pro and iPad Pro, iPhone Pro, and Apple Watch Pro. So the three sort of major features of this rumored device are a larger screen size, yet maybe as high as 47 to 48 millimeters. a larger battery size and longer battery life, and improved sensors and health functions, as well as improved durability for those who are into those more extreme or higher activity things like little rock climbing, etc. So this is intriguing. We think of like a Garmin GPS watch or a Casio G-Shock, which are interesting comps because those are made of rubber. They have rubberized sort of bumpers and stuff to help protect the face and the body of the watch. But that's not where the rumors are pointing here. The rumors are pointing to the rumors are pointing to it being a titanium body, which is what the current Apple Watch Edition is, and then yet some even thicker and more durable front glass. I have to say, I'm a sucker for this because I like my Apple Watch very much. I'm not going to be doing any of those extreme activities, but I do care about the health functions very much, and even though I should have bought a 16-inch MacBook Pro, my 14-inch MacBook Pro is a bigger screen than my previous 13-inch. So I'm often a sucker when it comes to a larger screen and more battery life.
Oh, same.
So okay, you can relate.
Yes. Can I now tell you and show you empirical evidence of why I should be on Apple's marketing team? Maybe even running Apple's marketing team. Are you ready for this?
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's see.
You ready? Look, they're gonna call it the Apple Watch Pro. No doubt in my mind. That's the way they roll right now. They're gonna call it the Apple Watch Pro. It's gonna be a little better in all the ways that Don just described. Feel free to rewind on your device to hear what Don was saying. But okay. Do you know how Apple likes to draw on their old naming conventions? You know what I mean? Like every once in a while, they'll go back in the well and they'll dig something up from the past and they'll use that name again. Like Mini gets used every once in a while now still. That dates back to the iPod, what's another one that they like to every once in a while they pull that one. Pro clearly has been around for ages. But you saw this screen pop up when I initially shared it. Look at this. Okay. Do you remember this? This was Apple's website in 1998. Okay. I remember seeing this in high school. This is when the first Bondi Blue iMac came out. And they just made, I think it was called the Pismo G3 PowerBook. And they had a G3 tower. That was the chip that was inside these, the G3. They had a G3 tower that looked like a standard Mac. It didn't have the cool like translucence or anything. And their marketing slogan was Pro, Go, and Whoa. Steve Jobs, I'm sure, had something to do with that. He loved,
sure he did.
You know what I mean? It's concise and it makes sense. It totally makes sense. Pro, Go, and Whoa. I've always thought that was a cool, like very, it rhymes, it describes the product in just one tiny word, So they're going to call it the Apple Watch.
Gone, so just so you know.
Okay, sorry. The Apple Watch Pro. They should call it the Apple Watch Go.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
If
it's going to be the rugged, outdoorsy one, they should call it the Apple Watch Go. Apple, you can have that one for free. Please use it.
That's a good one. I was not expecting. I like that. Because I think that certainly has a little bit more whimsy to it than Apple Watch Extreme. or something along those lines, which was a lot of what the original speculation was. But yeah,
that would
they
work.
have definitely muddied up what Pro means. There's no doubt about it.
So
and
bad.
and so go. I mean, it's meant to
the
go.
Apple Watch Go, boom, done.
Yep, meant to go play. I like it, man. All right,
yeah,
we'll work on that. T-shirts. We'll get okay, we'll get there.
Apple Watch Go. Damn it, that's good.
So
that's good.
That's
Dean.
really good. That's really good, man. Really good.
Anyway,
so yeah, I think that's. I know you're not as big on the watch as I am. I know you mentioned earlier about how you're kind of stockpiling money a little bit, and just in case you need to be buying something. And yes, we still have the other prediction section here to come. I don't know. I know you're kind of on the. I think you're kind of on the fence. I will not be purchasing a new iPhone this year.
No, I won't.
They will take the mini. They will pry it out of my cold, dead hands.
That's right.
So for all those of you who didn't buy the mini, you're a big reason this is happening. So you have to own this. You have to own it this year that there's no mini because of you. So there.
And you need to go buy 2 of them when they go on discount, so that in 3 years they can resurrect the design as the iPhone SE, and that will make Don super happy.
I would like it even more if they recycle it as like maybe, okay, so next year they do this year they're doing the Max, and then maybe next year they'll go back to the mini. I would be good with that.
That'd be nice.
I've heard that questioned, and hey, great. I mean, if there aren't a whole lot of new features, year over year for those proper phones, then maybe that's nice. Anyway, so and yes, I really want the Apple Watch Pro, whatever the hell it is. I don't care. So there's that. And I have 2 Apple Watches to trade in. Anyway,
very good for you. All right.
Anyway, so now let's get to the other predictions. And this is kind of a blank slate with what we've got going. We don't know anything else. We've got some ideas. You've got some ideas. I've got some ideas. But this is kind of a more open-ended and kind of maybe wish casting more too. So do you want to go first here? Do you have something burning on the tip of your tongue, or what do you think?
Or you want me to
start?
Give me a second here. Go ahead. All
right.
I did have something. Okay, go ahead.
Top of mind for you.
Okay.
Absolutely need to update the AirPods Pro. We are way past due. It has been rumored for at least a year now. Let's make it happen. Better battery life, new H something chip, H2, whatever they're going to call it. Maybe Wi-Fi connection or NFC or something for improved sound quality with the spatial audio and the lossless and the gimme. That I want the Apple Watch Pro. These were an insta buy for me, and I even bought a second pair. Yeah, right. And I convinced you, and I convinced one of our other colleagues to buy them too. And I bought a second pair. I have 2 pairs of these. So, insta buy.
I'm in.
Only 1 pair. Insta buy.
I'm in.
That's what I got. That's my first. What's your number one?
My number one want, but I don't think it's going to come yet. The new HomePod.
Okay.
I don't even know if I'm going to buy it.
Big HomePod?
Like a big HomePod, not a new HomePod mini. I don't think that's going to get updated for a while. A new main HomePod, okay? I think they're gonna slot it in $100 less than they did the original. I bet it comes in at $299 whenever they get it done. If it's at all similar in like dimension and size and capability, Probably has a new processor and more visual capabilities on the top. I've been hearing, but I think they've seen the success of the little HomePod, the HomePod Mini, um, at that price point of $99, and I think they've learned their lesson in terms of trying to get a mass appeal product that you can't sell something like that for $399.
Was it $399 to start? Oh yeah,
It was
because then it went down to
$399.
$350. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're right.
Wow.
And if you wanted a
Mm-hmm.
stereo pair, then I mean you were $800 deep on that,
800.
so you know what I mean?
Which by all
So
accounts, that those sounded great as a stereo pair,
they
but
do.
not for
They do.
$800. You
No,
have those, right?
I do, but I bought them on discount, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
the
right.
second they
Later
would
on.
go on sale. So, I have a feeling they'll start at that. I think before they try to do the Apple TV slash HomePod hybrid thing that Roku is doing now to great success, I think they're going to do another regular HomePod first. I think it's going to be essentially the original HomePod, but updated chip, updated small screen on the top with maybe a little bit more capability, and maybe some other sound microphone enhancements, things like that, more accurate Siri response, but otherwise fairly unchanged. Um, that's my hope. It's on the verge of being a logical choice, but we just haven't heard enough about it. This is
Mhm.
like, like you
Yeah.
hear about the CIA when they know like something bad's going to happen, they get a lot of chatter about it.
Right.
There's not a lot of chatter going around in the rumor mill about
Right.
a new
Right.
HomePod being imminent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there really hasn't. I mean, there's been a little bit of like rumor, like, hey, this could be a product that's happening.
Mhm.
But yeah, I see, I totally see why you would want that. But yeah, it
Mhm.
doesn't seem very likely. But hey, this is the section to wish cast. This, throw it out
Mhm.
there, and you never know when
Yeah.
it's gonna, kind of hit.
Do you want to
So
throw out just list some things that we think are absolutely not coming?
we could do that.
AR
Yeah,
glasses.
it's anything. Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's
Nope.
next year. That's next year.
Car.
Um,
Nope.
No, no. We know enough about that to know that that's down the line, at least 2 years, I would guess.
What are some other not
Um,
happenings?
I don't think we're gonna see new um, uh, iPads or Macs at this event.
Mhm.
I just don't think we're there yet. So none of those things. Um, Apple TV. I mean, maybe great. It's not really gonna
Processor bump,
move the
storage
meter.
bump. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna move the meter, but it could happen. This would be a good
Mhm.
event for it. The other one that I was hearing and it hasn't been a whole lot, there's been like almost no rumors of, especially recently, is updated AirPods Max.
Mm.
Um, it's going to happen at some point. We know this.
Mhm.
Um, but it's just I think it's a little too early. There's not been anything pointing to it. Um,
It's a
so
peculiar
that's
product
the
to begin with, and it's kind of surprising that Apple even does them. You know what I mean?
well, they from everything yeah, I agree with you. But from everything I've heard, the people that have them really like them.
Mhm.
They argue with the design of them, which is totally understandable because
Mhm.
they don't fold. And many of the most popular headphones will fold,
Mhm.
the ear cups will fold in for easier storage. Now, I mentioned this because currently right now I'm Don testing the Sony um
It's
I
just going to be a
can't
string of numbers and letters.
let me see if I can do this. WH 1000 XM5s. So the
Wow, nice
X Mark
job.
5. Okay, let me see. I may have gotten that right. So I have I owned a pair of the Mark IIs, which then my lovely middle child broke accidentally. And then I test drove the 3s and the Mark IVs, and now I figured, you know what? I had to buy them new headphones for school for them. So, and they wanted over the ear variety. So I thought, I'm just going to give these a go. And just like the AirPods Max, oh, there's our timer. The ear cups used to fold. They do not fold. So that results in a case. While it's a real case, unlike the AirPods Max, it is a significantly larger case. They fit inside it just fine. But, the AirPods Max are mostly metal and a little bit of plastic. And these are all plastic with, no metal. They sound really good. You can use them wired or wireless. They have all the assistance other than Siri. It's the sound quality is a little better. The noise canceling's a little better. Still the top of the line. The headband is more comfy.
The foam looks good on that headband. Yeah,
they do. I can actually fit them over my AirPods and wear them both comfortably, which that's all. Actually,
that's crazy town.
Talk about maximum noise canceling. And they're not even on, and that was like super noise isolating. We're gonna try this on air. Why not? Okay, here we go. Okay.
Do you feel like you're in a soundproof chamber right now?
As much as I've ever felt, yes. Because I've never actually been in a sensory.
Done. You've created like a Bermuda Triangle of noise cancellation.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
I need this for when my child is screaming.
Yeah,
this is great.
Turn on noise cancellation on the AirPods.
It is on.
Do it, Don. Oh my
god!
Is. Oh my god! What you're hearing is like before the universe came into being right now.
I hear you and nothing else.
Oh man,
this is bliss.
Yes,
this is bliss, Brett.
You think this is bliss? Oh, Don has problems, folks. Yikes!
Oh man! Oh my god! I just might have spent myself some money. Damn it! Anyway.
Yep.
So yes, I'm going to wear these for the rest of the show, and you're welcome, people.
Oh,
so that's the only that's the other thing. Anything else that you can think of in our other section that you're predicting?
No iPads. There's an outlier of a chance for a new MacBook Pro, right?
I'm like I said in my prediction, I don't think there's going to be for this event. There's going to be an October event, new iPads, new MacBook Pros, maybe the sneak peek at the Mac Pro that we still have yet to see, but we know is coming, that they even mentioned.
That would be cool. Yeah, they've started doing sneak peeks every once in a while, haven't they?
They've been doing that for a while, but for them to specifically say, and there's one more Mac to come, and it's the Mac Pro, but that's for another day.
Right.
Okay. I think I nailed that John Turner's quote exactly.
So hang on. Wait, I had something there. Okay. Wait. Okay. How much time do you think in the presentation is going to be devoted to a new audio codec?
0.
Oh, we've got a Apple Atmos Plus. We've got a Super Surround codec. We've got the spatial quantity Vortex 2. I mean, they get really excited about stuff like that.
You're right. They did make a big deal out of Apple Music lossless when it came out.
To be fair, it's awesome. I love listening to better than CD quality, better than SACD quality sound through my hi-fi system hooked up to the Mac via USB. It's so good. But it's one of those things where you just kind of sit back and say, yeah, it's rad. I get it. It's higher quality. I don't know if devoting 20 minutes to it in a keynote presentation is like, the way to go.
Yeah,
but I think they'll do it.
I hear you. Well, yeah, you're right. That's a great point, man, because if they do release new AirPods with new high-res audio capability, yeah, they'll talk about it with talk about whatever chip or whatever that is built into the device that makes that possible.
Yeah.
I must say, if that feature comes and it does require a new phone,
oh God,
this is gonna be me.
I know. Yeah.
Because you know what that means.
It means you're going to get the big 6.7-inch non-pro, right?
Nope. No. I even grab my lady's iPhone 12 Pro, and I'm like, this thing is massive. And I remember still having my 12 Pro Max, and when I got the 13, I put them side by side. I'm like, it's behemoth. Yeah. And even the 12 Pro feels behemoth. And I held your 13 Max at work the other week.
And you almost dropped it because it almost broke your hand from the weight.
Behemoth. So no, I would go 12 or sorry, 14 basic and call it a day. But that's something I could totally see them doing that. Yeah, you could add the Apple lossless streaming to your AirPods too, but it requires an iPhone 14 or 14 Pro. So that would
or
that
an
would
M2.
Oh, yeah, because then we're both SOL on that too. So, boy, that would. All right, let's not do that to ourselves.
I know.
That
I know. We're just gonna get pre-pissed off, and it's one thing about life right now in 2022 and 23 and 24 probably you can't get pre-pissed off because there's too much.
I've only got so much more hair.
Right.
Every haircut is just it's an exercise in sadness. But anyway, so yeah, that's all I got for this only because I got my haircut on Friday and I went to our colleague.
It's not it's an organized retreat. That's what I call it.
Yeah, but I think I've got a much bigger bald spot. Like it's gonna be all the front, but then there's like a big old section right down the center going towards the colic area. So it's gonna be like, it's not like if it all went, okay, fine. I'm good with that. Whatever. Just fine. Make it easier on me. But no, it's gonna be like a strip.
Have you tried this look yet? Have you tried going down to like
No, not yet. I'm gonna hang on as long as possible.
I would. Yeah.
Which is we know that this is why people tuned in. This part right here.
Yes.
This is it.
I comb my son's hair vicariously and think, oh, this is what my hair used to be like. This is Daddy's hair.
I say to both my older kids, I'm like, because the little one doesn't got hair yet. So I'm like to both. You guys are so lucky. Enjoy the heck out of this because you're gonna look like this is your future. Sorry.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
All right. So we're gonna do something real quick and then we're gonna call it a night.
Okay.
We got to do a quick car corner.
Okay. Hang on. Let me switch something here.
All right. Yeah. We got to switch to the car corner background here.
Okay.
All right. So now we car corner. Honk honk. Okay. There's all our car corner effects. All right. So, folks,
do you want to show a picture?
You put whatever you want.
You sent me a nice picture.
I did, but you sent me many. So let me set up the background for everybody.
Right.
This is the background story for everybody. Brad and I have talked a little bit of cars here and there in this show. We have, and we even created Car Corner quite a while back. We were into it, and then we weren't. But anyway, so what people don't know is Brett and I nerd out about cars now way more than we nerd out about tech. We nerd out about tech. We do. But what we really drool over is cars now. And like every day we are sending pictures and listings and talking this and that.
It's not megahertz, it's horsepower now.
Yes, it is. And battery life, well, that'll be range anxiety. We'll get to that segment later.
Yeah.
But so that's the backstory. That's where this is coming from for us. So I just wanted to steer us into Car Corner.
Segue of the year.
Oh,
yeah, good one. That was good.
I'm gonna call it a night on that one. Just to let everybody know, Brett. See, look at this guy. This guy's on it. He's on it. He's got everything going here tonight. That we are all about this. So, folks, expect and hopefully look forward to Brett and I talking about more about horsepower and braking distance and all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive than we talk about with megahertz and screen size and battery life.
Yeah, because we just started with technology. There's so many things to nerd out about, you know?
That's right. It's
so many things.
This is just the jumping off point. So is there something from Car Corner that you want to bring to the peoples, or should we just leave it at that
I think we leave it at that, and then maybe next time we come back with like a favorite story, or maybe we'll do what we do with the Apple events. We'll do a prediction on something coming that looks really cool. What do you think about that?
That sounds good with me, because of course the next show, which we have not yet discussed the date, and yes, we're a few days late. We were originally planning on August 24th, but life happens, and here we are on the 29th, and we wanted to make sure that we got out in front of next week's Apple event so that we got our predictions out there, and we are game set match for next Wednesday's event. So we will get back hopefully not too long after next Wednesday's event to break it down for y'all in detail, and talk about, speculate what we're going to be getting our hands on. And then, yes, like Brett says, we'll shift to Car Corner, and we'll find something fun related to that to kind of get that going again.
All right, I'm predicting as we leave here, I'm predicting 1 to 2 Insta purchases each within the next week.
Woo! Wow. Okay. All right. Each. Okay. All right. Eat. Okay. So 1 to 2. All right. Well, I think we in tonight's episode, we definitely laid the groundwork to let the people know what those things could or would be. So
if you have an Insta purchase you'd like to tell us about and get therapy for from Don and myself, then you know what to do next week or the week after.
Or if you have questions, we have answers.
We can help you almost Insta purchase something. If you're just like, I was going to Insta purchase it, but I just need a little bit more help. Do I want this one? Is this the bad one? Is this the one that I get tricked into buying, but I should have bought the other one? That's why we're here.
I think that, dude, that is a service. We are performing a service for people.
You need to have a service. You need to have a nerd friend that you can ask, and not everybody's got one.
Let us be your nerd Sherpas. We will guide you. We will guide you through the mountains of tech purchase.
Yes, many of you will freeze to death, but gosh, we'll get some of you there.
Yeah, we can do that. So that man, we are building on this empire. Okay,
I like the confidence there. Some of you will freeze to death, but we'll get some of you there.
That's right. We'll do the best we can. That's all we can do.
Can't overpromise.
overpromise and underdeliver. Wait.
Yes.
Isn't it the opposite? Okay. So anyway, so I think that about wraps it up for today's episode. You know everything that there is to know, and as far as we know. So tune in next Wednesday at, like I said, 10 a.m. Pacific time, noon Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time for the Far Out event by Apple on apple.com. And then check our Facebook page for our next recording time. We'll have that up as soon as we know it. We'll break it down all for you and have some car corner at the end. All right, man. Well, it's been a lot of fun. As always, we said we're going to go short. We're going to keep it under an hour tonight. Good for us. And we'll talk to you all on the next episode. Brett, take care, buddy. And take care, everybody. Thank you all for watching, and we'll talk to you all soon.
Bye-bye.
Peace.